Welcome back to another video. It is Sunday, the 1st of February. It is 10 to 6. Week 4 has arrived. Well, week 4 is at the end. It is primary SBD. It's my heaviest session of the whole block. I've been really looking forward to this session all block. Like, my motivation this block has generally been really high anyway. Have quite ambitious goals for today. My coach has kind of load capped me, which I'll go into when I talk through the plan. But I've been feeling excited for this session, like all block, and nutrition and stuff has been absolutely spot on this week. Body weight this morning was 86.6, which is about half a kilo down on last week again. So really good rate of loss there. And I am actually ahead of schedule in terms of where my nutrition coach wants me to be for my cut into British bench. I'm also 4 weeks out from British bench as of today. Well, today or yesterday, depending on which day I compete, whether it's Saturday or Sunday. Motivation is also extra high because yesterday also was Sheffield, and watching Sheffield always just boosts, I think, everyone's motivation, to be honest. I'm actually really glad my primary SBD ended on the day after rather than on the day of Sheffield, because it just meant that, like, while I was watching last night, like, I felt really excited for today's session. I am training quite late, not like super late, but quite late for a Sunday, just because my work day was super long today, but not complaining. Basically finished work about 4, went on an hour's long dog walk, came home, had some cereal, and then got myself ready to train. So it is now nearly 6 and I'm obviously now about to start training. But motivation is pretty high. Plan for today is ascending triples on squats. Now, I did have quite an ambitious goal for my 3rd triple today, but my coach did basically tell me last week what he wants me to load and the jumps he wants me to take. So the goal is an RP6 triple into a 7.5 into an RP9 triple. And he basically told me to go 160, 170, and then 177 to 180. So I'm hoping I can do 160, 170, 180. Won't lie, I wanted to do bigger jumps and take more than 180 for my final triple. But as he did remind me, currently I don't need to be super strong on squats. The priority is bench right now. I am 4 weeks out from a bench only comp. Not that we're taking my training that seriously in terms of specifically focusing on bench, but bench is riding a really good wave right now. And obviously want to just keep leaning into that. And yeah, I don't need my squat to be at top form right now because I'm still quite a few months out from competing again. And then once I've done my triples, I've got one set of 5 at 160, which is just a set load. Bench is the exciting part. I'm not going to tell you the load. I've been doing top doubles on bench. The target RPE for today is 9, and my coach did set a goal for me when the block first started of what he wants me to aim for. He has told me, because last week's double at 115 was really hard, close to max effort, execution wasn't the best, especially on the 2nd rep. He has said to me he wants me to touch a specific number, whether that's a single or a double, he doesn't mind. I'm not going to say the number because it is scary and ambitious, but we will see. I'm feeling really good. I've fully fueled myself. I had more carbs yesterday and today. My nutrition coach gave me extra carbs this weekend for this session, and I generally feel really good in myself. I'm very excited. I'm also going to get my boyfriend out to give me lift-offs for every single bench set because that will help me massively as well. But yeah, I'm not going to tell you what the plan is because it's terrifying and I think I'll be able to do it, but I don't want to say it and then not be able to do it. Obviously at the end of the video, I will tell you guys anyway. But ambitious goal on bench, which, to be honest, we had no right setting this goal, literally no right setting this goal, especially knowing that I am now in a pretty severe deficit as well. There was literally no way, this was such an unrealistic goal to set, but because my coach set it for me rather than me setting it myself, I've just convinced myself that I can do it. But we will see. And then after that top double, which might be a single, I've got a set of 4, an RP of 8, and then 3x4 at 100, which is just set load. And then we have pause deadlifts, which again, I've been kind of capped on pause deadlifts. Last week I did a top single at 180 and it moved really well. Well, no, it moved easily, but the pause wasn't very well done. So actually execution was pretty bad. And my coach basically said to he basically just said to repeat it and make it execute it better and just focus on having a more solid pause. The target RP is a 9 though. So maybe if I do 180 again and the pause is really good, I can justify going up, but we will see. My best ever sumo is 185 though, so another 180 pause, executed better, is still a big win. If I can do 180 with a good pause, we'll see. And then I've got a set of 4, an RP of 8, and then I've got 4x4 at a set percentage drop. I'm gonna wait until I get on deadlifts to decide what I wanna do. Obviously I have a rough idea of where I wanna do that set of 4, but I'm just gonna see how things feel, because also, generally, by the time I get to deadlifts on this day, squats and bench don't take me that long on this session, but deadlifts do. So if my energy starts to crash by the time I get to deadlifts, then I just won't push quite as hard because, again, the priority right now isn't actually feeling super strong on squats and deadlifts. It's just kind of building momentum, riding the wave, building strength as a base. So we will just see. But I am feeling very good. Also just had 400 milligrams of caffeine at 5:30 on a Sunday evening. Probably going to regret that. I decided to use caffeine tablets for this session, trying to cut back on the energy drink consumption anyway, because I've been having 2 monsters a day pretty much religiously. I'm going to try and cut that back to 1. I'm not making any promises, especially while I'm in a deficit, because I do feel like that's like my treat of the day. But I've also got like Pepsi Max in the fridge that I can have instead, which has still got caffeine in, but a lot less. But basically, I didn't want to have a second kind of monster, obviously, for this session. So especially because they take me hours to drink. So I was like, right, I'll just take 2 caffeine pills, 200 milligrams each, about half an hour before I start training. And then hopefully that will give me the focus that I need, which I'm sure it will. I feel like I can already feel it kicking in because I'm talking like 100 miles an hour. I don't think there's really anything else to update you guys on. I am looking forward to this session. Like I say, I'm feeling good. My hamstring is still feeling pretty awful, I won't lie, especially after the dog walk. But I think it'll be okay once I get warmed up. Generally, I have been feeling it when I squat. But as long as I take a bit more time, maybe do like 2 or 3 warm-up sets at 70 before I start going up, it generally loosens off a little bit and it's fine. It's just at the moment, it feels super tight. I am getting more work done on it on Friday, so in a few days' time, but it's fine. Just gonna ignore it. I think stretching it and stuff does definitely help. I've just been slacking on it, but it's just like in this constant state of like being super tight and quite achy, but it's fine, it's fine. Anyway, I don't think there's anything else to say. I need to crack on and get this session done. I feel like I'm a little bit nervous, but there's no reason to be, especially I think because squats and deadlifts are kind of load capped. There's no point in me being nervous. Like, it'll be fine. Just need to make sure execution is on point, and yeah, I'm feeling good. Dates have been announced for All England's for the women, which is kind of the comp I said I would probably do, although not set in stone. I think it's like the, let me get my calendar up so I don't say the wrong weekend. So I believe it's the 9th and 10th of May for the women's, not the women's, for the Open. So they're doing different age categories on different weekends. So Open is going to be that weekend on May. So I spoke very, very briefly to my nutrition coach today once the dates got announced. And I was like, oh, that means, you know, if I compete in British Bench 28th/1st of Feb, March, so that weekend, I've kind of already said to her, once we get to British Bench weekend, because I'm in such a big deficit up to that comp, maybe like a month of maintenance and almost just chilling out a little bit, trying to maintain like 85 to 86 kilos, and then start the deficit again, start of April. We'll then do like a 5-6 week deficit and like cut into English, and hopefully then I'll be able to walk in at weight as well. And it'll just be like enough time in between the 2 comps that I don't have to be in back-to-back deficits, because that's something that she was quite concerned about. But we will see. Also think with my new training block, I think we're changing stuff around tomorrow. So my coach is going to write my new training block, I think tomorrow, possibly Tuesday morning, because I don't need it until Tuesday evening anyway. And I'm quite excited to see some of the changes. I won't lie, I really want to try high frequency, but I know that's not going to happen. Yeah, anyway, I'm talking for the sake of talking. Let's just crack on and see how this goes.
Fatal attraction, lovers in action, yeah. One of us is gonna get hurt. You got your madness, and I'm good at bad habits. Oh, one of us is gonna get hurt. I'm not one to trust, ask anyone, and you will see it. I live for the thrill. Oh, I'm dead serious, it's you or me, you best believe it. This is not a drill. This is fatal attraction. These are times of crowds of passion. One of us gonna get hurt. Took a shot for the magic, but we're crashing into tragic. One of us gonna get hurt. I would love to see you cry. I would love to shut you out. Baby, I'm the gift that's never given. Whoa, I don't know what else to say to make sure you stay away. Baby, this is war, but no one's winning. Whoa, I'm dead serious.
Okay, so I thought I'd just kind of have a little bit of a mid-session catch-up / brain dump and just kind of get out what I'm thinking. So obviously bench didn't go to plan, and we'll talk about that in a second, but I'm not feeling as good as I expected to, and I think it's the caffeine. So I feel similar to how I did at British, and that was the last time. Like, I don't normally take much caffeine in one go, and at British I had 400 milligrams kind of in one go, and I did the same thing today, and it left me feeling quite lightheaded at British, and I didn't know if that was like a weight cut thing, a nerves thing, or whatever. But I feel pretty similarly today, and I noticed it on squats because 70 felt fine, and then 120, my back felt a little bit crampy, which only ever happens at comp after I've cut. And obviously I haven't cut today, like I'm very hydrated, I've been on top of my variables and stuff all day. But yeah, something didn't quite feel right on squats. So I went to 120, went to 145, felt harder than it should, but it was fine. And I did 160 for my first triple. I'm glad I filmed it because it didn't feel great, but it looked fine. So I was like, just stick to the plan, go 170. So I did 170 for the next set. And again, it was hard. The third rep was definitely like quite a lot slower than the second, but it was fine and there was still room. So I got my boyfriend to come out and spot me for the 180 because I was like, I know I can do 180 for 3, but I just have to be confident. And I just said to myself going in, like, you can do hard squats, like you can grind, you just haven't had to in ages, so you've kind of forgotten how to do it. So I just committed to the 180 triple, and I'm really glad I did because again, I didn't feel 100% to hit 180 for a triple. I would say it was probably about an 8.59 RPE, and the target RPE for that final triple was a 9. Yes, I was hoping when my coach gave me a load cap that I would make it move way easier than a 9. But equally, I've done ascending triples into that, not just like if I'd just done a single at 165, jumped to 180 for a triple, it probably would have been like a 7, maybe an 8. So I'm not mad. It does annoy me that I've managed to hit 180 for 5 like over a year ago now, or pretty much a year ago to this day, I think. It was like the end of January last year, I hit 180 for a set of 5 and it was literally like an RP 7. And I just don't seem to be able to get that strength back, but I know that it's on the way and I don't need it right now. And I couldn't replicate that on the platform anyway, so I just need to kind of trust the process. And then my 160 back off set of 5, that one back off set of 5 every week, when I read the program, I'm like, oh yes, one set of 5, easy, rush through that. It feels so difficult in the moment. Watching it back, it was like a 7 at most. And actually when I was doing it, I was like, this is so slow, I don't know if I can do this. But equally, if I was told I had to do 3 more reps, I would have easily done the 3 more reps. It just sucks in the moment. So squats I was actually really happy with considering how I felt and stuff as well. And it was definitely just a mental battle. Bench though, I am happy with bench. But I didn't hit what I was hoping for. So I don't really know where my coach got this goal from. But when I told him how heavy I was at the start of the block, he essentially said to me, he was like, why don't we just delay the cut, stick around 90 kilos for this block and bench 120 for 2, and then we can do the cut. And at the time I was like, I can do that in a deficit, no problems. I couldn't even do that. Like last block, I was 4 kilograms heavier than I am today, and I barely benched 115 for a double. Like it was scrappy as hell, and it was difficult, and it was not well executed. A 115 double last block. It was a PB last block. So to aim to add 5 kilos to that today, whether I'm in a deficit or not, was ambitious as hell. But I'm actually really happy in a way. Obviously not that I failed. Like I wanted 120 for a single today. I knew in my head that a double was not going to happen. Obviously, like I told myself if the first rep's easy, I will go for the second. But I kind of knew the 120 double wasn't going to happen. But I was quite confident I'd get a single. So I planned my warm-ups obviously with just doing that and not over fatiguing myself. So I did 70, 90, 100, and I jumped straight from 100 to 110. And I was actually so proud of myself for doing that because although the 110 felt quite heavy because it was a 10 kilo jump, it moved incredibly well. Like it felt super clean. It just felt a little bit slow, but all of my warm-ups felt a little bit slow. And again, I was going really lightheaded, like every single rep, every warm-up, I was going lightheaded. So I kind of just told myself, just suck it up, you'll be fine. So I did 110 into 115, and the 115 was fine. It felt kind of hard, and my instinct told me to just go 117, but my instinct also told me that at British, and then I was like, actually, that 115 felt better than my opener did at British, and at British, I still ended at 120. Granted, Alico soft pad just adds kilos to my bench, but I kind of was trying to like trick myself into thinking that 120 would be fine, but honestly, as my boyfriend passed me the 120, and I was like getting ready to like set myself and stuff, I was like, this feels heavy. And I don't let that psych me out. I don't. I always say to myself and I say to my clients, like, just because something feels heavy, it doesn't mean you can't do it. Like, feeling heavy doesn't indicate anything. But it felt heavy. And yeah, no, I just got pinned. But it is what it is. Like, I'm still glad I went for it. I did then make the mistake of thinking, right, that didn't move very well. I'm going to load 110 for my set of 4. Like, I can do that. Let's go for it. But obviously, I was fatigued from the 120 fail. And yeah, I did 2 reps at 110, and they felt easy and they felt comfortable. And then I just got pinned on the 3rd rep. So I'm not super happy with that. And then I had a set load of 3x4 at 100, which I was actually nervous for, because I think last week my 3x4 was at 95 and that felt really hard, but actually it felt decent today. I just made sure to get a lift off everything. Like my boyfriend gave me a lift off for every single set tonight, and that definitely helped. But yeah, like I'm not super happy with bench, but that's only because we had this super ambitious target. When I actually rationalize it, ending with a 115 single after dropping 4 kilograms in the last 4 weeks isn't bad. Like my heaviest single before British, I hit 117 a week out from British, but up until that point, the heaviest I'd done in training for a long time was 115, and I'd regularly failed 115 end of block as well in the blocks leading into British in December. So to be hitting 115 on a bad day after rapidly losing 4 kilograms is nothing to snuff my nose at, and actually I should be happy about it. And I guess I kind of just wanted to get that off my brain before I move on to deadlifts, just because like I want to almost like put it behind me, and I think talking it through is a really good way of just rationalizing it and getting it out of my brain.
It's you or me, you best believe it. This is not a drill. This is fatal attraction. These are times of crowds of passion. One of us gonna get hurt. Took a shot for the magic, but we're crashing into tragic. One of us.
That was the worst session I've had in a very long time, and I'd love to sit here and say that it's the deficit, but I think it was just one of those days, because actually I did, other than like the slight dizziness and stuff, I did feel great coming into this. Like I couldn't have prepared better for this session considering the deficit and everything. Deadlifts, I felt great warming up, like really, really good. And mentally, like I was fully checked in, especially after bench not going as to plan as I wanted to. I felt like I had to prove a point on deadlifts. And 180 was kind of the load cap, but in the back of my mind, I was like, but if I make 180 move, could do 185, maybe 190, like I probably wouldn't have loaded it, but I was that confident that I'm strong enough to do that. 170 was my last warm up, and I felt like that felt really strong, like really, really strong. So when I went into 180, like I was really switched on, and I was just prepared to make it move really well. And I mean, I nearly locked it out. I think I was so aware of the fact that I wanted the pause to be super strict that I maybe just overreached. Couldn't quite lock it, and then I was like, right, I'm gonna try again. I tried it again. I literally couldn't break the floor, which was stupid to even try it again, but I was just so annoyed. Like I moved it last week and it moved pretty well. So then I was like, I don't know what to do. And I actually messaged my boyfriend. I was like, I think we're gonna end in tears if this, like, I think this session might end in tears. Like I felt really pissed. And my plan was to go for 170 for a set of 4 and match my best ever set of 4 conventional, because sumo is undoubtedly stronger than my conventional ever has been. And I do think I'm capable of 170 for a set of 4, but I just, after that pause single, I was like, yeah, there's no way I can do that today. Like, it was just almost like, there was nothing pulling or anything in my adductors, but I almost felt like I had nothing kind of left to give. And I was like, I don't even know if I can do 170 for 1, let alone 4. So I was like, okay, I'll do 165. I was going to just go to, well, I considered just doing my lighter sets of 4 at 140, because if I did 170, then I would do 4x4 at 140 after. But I wasn't sure what to do, and I don't want to be a quitter. Like I don't skip things, especially when someone else is prescribing me stuff. Like when I was self-coached, I didn't skip things. Now I'm actually being coached, I don't want to skip anything. So yeah, I went to do 165 for a set of 4, and again, mentally, I was fully in it. Like, considering how I felt like 30 seconds before, like I was in it, I was ready, and I couldn't break the floor. Like there was just nothing left, and I do think it's a mental thing. But yeah, I literally just couldn't break the floor. So I was like, okay, let's just go down to 120 and do a set of 4 at 120. So I haven't completely been a quitter. And I swear I literally just couldn't break 120 off the floor. I just had nothing left to give. And it's annoying because it's not like my food's so low and I feel like I've got no energy left and I'm depleted, like I felt last week for this session by the end of it. And the week before, I think I felt like this as well, or like that as well. Today, I actually feel fueled. I feel good. I feel ready to go. But there's just nothing left, and I don't get it, and it's really frustrating, especially because even though squats didn't feel strong, I managed a 180 triple. That set me up for a really successful session, yet it seems to just have dwindled away as the session's gone on. So I'm very frustrated. I am upset because like the standard I have for myself is really high, and none of these numbers that I'm going for at the moment are even PBs. They're not numbers that I should be struggling with. They are numbers that I should find absolutely fine. And I know I've lost 4 kilograms in 4 weeks. That will obviously have an impact, but these are still numbers that shouldn't be hard for me. They should be fine. And just the fact that I can't do them is really getting to me mentally. So yeah, I'm not overly happy with how that went, funnily enough. I'm just gonna like forget about it. Now going into a new block. I think there's some changes that probably need to be made within the programming, but I know Lewis, my coach, has already kind of talked through some of that. And I'll let him know kind of my thoughts and then just let him do what he wants to do and go from there. Obviously next block, the focus is probably just gonna be bench, although I would and we said this when I said I was gonna do British bench, like we're not focusing solely on bench, like it's gonna be a train through meet because my end of block bench should be enough to win, like 115 should be enough to win, and I hit that today on like a less than ideal day. So yeah, I think we'll see what changes are made. Nutrition wise, I think my calories are going up a little bit. I don't know, I'm just mentally, I'm very like, I don't even know like how to explain it. Everyone's had bad sessions obviously, and like I did rationalize it after bench, you know, our goals for today were ambitious, but deadlift wasn't ambitious and they should have been fine. Like they should have been fine. But I can tell something's not right from the fact that I literally can't break 120 off the floor right now. Like that should be super easy. And I think it probably is just mentally like my brain's gone, nope, no more. But it is what it is. I'm just going to move on, forget about it, move on to the next session, which will be Tuesday. New training block, everything. I'd imagine we're probably going to be pretty conservative on squats and deads next block anyway. The good thing is though, my hips didn't shoot up on the 170 pause single that I did. I feel like my hip position and stuff is super solid on sumo now, so there are positives, I suppose. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap a video up here. I will talk to you guys in the next video about any nutrition changes that I have from my check-in tomorrow. Probably run through some changes for the training block as well. At the next few videos, I'll talk through any changes that we're making. And yeah, if you have made it to the end, I really appreciate it. Please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in a few days for the next one.